So we're trying out a new section, aptly titled Notes from Nick. Firstly, because we all know of the importance of alliteration, and also because I happen to be Nick. Here I'll be running through a few topics that have come up in different chats that I've had with clients that I think could be helpful to a broader audience. So in this first one, we're going to be chatting through some year-end planning, our thoughts on the job market, and some remote culture questions. Our goal with these is to really kind of keep them short and sweet. So with that, let's jump right into the year-end planning conversations. So welcome to the fourth quarter. This has always been a more thoughtful time. It's when we naturally take a step back to think about what the next year should look like. And part of that for owners naturally spills into a bit of thinking about just what it is that you are building. So our conversations this year have essentially become, welcome to the fourth quarter, what do you want to do with your life? And that's one heck of a question. It used to be really easy to make ourselves busy so we didn't have to fully address this. Now it's become blatantly clear just how important it is that we know why we're building these companies. For some, they do it because it becomes a source of pride that they get from building something impressive. Others are energized by the collaboration and the new ideas they're exposed to from working with other smart people. Some of them see it as a path to wealth generation. Whatever your reasoning is, it's important you take some additional time this year to ensure that what you're building and the path that your company is on are aligned with what you want out of it. A lot of people are struggling with this right now, and I think a big portion of it is due to the pandemic forcing a reassessment of what we're all doing. We were kicked off our collective hamster wheel, but we still want to run. And now we have to pick a direction, and it's far from easy. We're seeing this play out in what's been dubbed the Great Resignation. We've heard from a number of owners who've had to deal with senior staff exits and the frustration around having an ample amount of work, but an inability to capture it. I can't imagine it stays this bad forever, but I do believe that the base level of difficulty around talent attraction and retention has risen. Back in March, we wrote a bit about this, along with some tips on how to navigate it, which I'll link to below in the description. So with that, let's talk about your company culture in the new age of remote work. A huge part of the employee attraction and retention solution revolves around your company's culture. When you're all remote, though, building, maintaining, and communicating that culture, it becomes infinitely more difficult. One of the reasons for this is most companies relied on workplace proximity to do a lot of the heavy lifting for their cultures. They relied on employees being physically next to each other, so that continuous kind of interaction would generate culture kind of organically. And with that proximity gone, managers are now faced with having to be much more intentional about what their companies stand for and how their employees interact. And while this is probably a net positive, there are going to be some serious growing pains along the way while shops figure it out. And that's it for this edition of Notes from Nick. I'll be back next month to chat through more of what's top of mind and what I'm hearing out in the digital agency space. If you have any feedback for us on these, I'd love to hear it. We want to make these things better every month. So just leave it down in the comment section, which I'm sure if we get any, I'll be reading absolutely obsessively. Until next time, have a good one.